I think we're live. Maybe. Possibly live. Hopefully. Maybe. Maybe, possibly. I think we are live. Maybe somehow we can go live. Maybe. Maybe. This friggin' tripod shit. Or. Ugh. No answer from live video guest again, Brian. I don't know. I'm freaking trying this shit. This is ridiculous. All right, I got work to get done, guys. Chat it up in the side box. Anything goes. Screw it all. Sure.
Dan the man.
What up?
What's up, buddy?
Well, at least we know somebody can beam in. Looks like
Brian
Brian Wall needs to go and upgrade his phone from the dollar store model. Motherfucker. We love you, Brian Wall, but goddamn it, get a new phone, please. It's affecting your career and mine.
Wi-Fi plugged in. He said in the comments earlier he figured it out. He didn't have his Wi-Fi plugged in.
Does anybody know if we could three-way on this shit?
Oh, I could only hope. I could only hope.
There's got to be a three-way on this fucker. What's up?
How many do you have to do tonight?
As many as I can in the next half hour, 45 minutes. I'm just pulling off boards.
How many days do you have until you go to fur auction?
Well, that's something I wanted to bring up. We got 10 viewers on here. Right here, I've got the NAFA auction information for the drop-off point. Larry, where do you live? You in Ohio?
Missouri.
Oh, you're right there with Michael Patterson, ain't you?
Yeah. Yeah, our fur auction's in, I think it's like Morrisville, Missouri or something every February.
Well, the bottom line is I want to bring this up real quick, and you guys can hit me on Facebook Messenger if you guys live near or in Ohio, because I'm in Michigan, and all the Michigan drop-off points for the NAFA auction are already over. So I'm going to Ohio, and the plan is when we all go to Ohio to drop off these furs at the drop-off point, everybody in Ohio, we're going to drop off at the same damn drop-off point. And before then, we're going to have a trapper breakfast. We're going to take over. Brian Wall says that there is an IHOP in the general vicinity that has like this waitress named like Leanne or something with one fucking leg and shit. And we're going to take over an IHOP trapper style. We're going to go up in there smelling of coon grease and muskrat ass. And we're going to go up in that bitch and have a hell of a breakfast together. So, for everybody that's, what the fuck?
Ashley's fucking with me.
Come on, it's making for bad video and it's really distracting.
Ashley.
Get your crab paws the fuck out of here. God damn her. Anyway.
Woman.
So everybody that is in Ohio or can drive to Ohio or wants to make the road trip, it's gonna be freaking awesome. All right. And yeah, the location is in Shelby, Ohio. All right. Shelby, Ohio is 1 hour south of Sandusky, Ohio.
What's up, Ricky? Aiden?
And it is going to be on Friday, April 20th. And I will post this on my Facebook. Friday, April 20th in the morning. At some point, I will come up with a time of which works with the drop-off point that we have enough time to eat breakfast, bullshit, and shoot the furs for a little bit, and then we'll go and have a breakfast, go to the drop-off point, and then anybody else that has Michael Jackson money before he died can all meet me over at the fucking Kalahari Resort, because it's gonna be a family freaking weekend and it's gonna be fun. So. In the chat box, who in here watching right now is from Ohio? Hit me up with an Ohio in the chat box.
Man, I wish that me and Michael Patterson could load up and go up there. Maybe next year we can plan on meeting up with you guys sometime.
Dude, you got 20 days. It ain't till the end of next month.
Yeah, I'm broke. I'm a broke white boy, brother.
We all are.
So, do you have any ideas? Anybody have any ideas on the best place to get snares or cable restraints?
I got 3 or 4 of them on my wall that you can have. I can't use them here in Michigan. I bought them in a lump sum package when I bought a bunch of Uzis.
Yeah.
Of course, check with your local state game laws and make sure that it's legal in your state, because it's not in mine on public land. It is illegal for snares and cable restraints.
No snares in Missouri, but we can have cable restraints. They just have to have breakaways, and there's a whole long list of rules. That thanks to Mr. Dan with Mad Nasty Trapping, I'm going to have mine laminated on my table this year, because that is a great idea, my friend.
You're going to do what now?
I'm going to laminate all the rules like you did on yours. Put it on my table out in the trapping shed.
Yep. The only downside is that I have to go and take the roll of plexiglass off of there. I got to take the plexiglass off and then redo the laws every year because they change.
No, Brian, I haven't got it. It's still in the freezer. It's been kind of crazy around here lately.
Dude, Michigan has 12 pages of trapping law. Now, I looked up today for another trapper because I had another trapper that wants me to mentor him and work him through his first season of trapping. And I looked up Missouri trapping laws. You guys got it fucking made, dude. You guys got like maybe a page and a half of trapping laws. I'm like, crazy. God damn. The only thing that sucks is you guys cannot use bucket sets there. It's bullshit. But you can use conibears 6 feet off the ground. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to get bungee cords or ratchet straps. You would take your bucket set and actually set it upright on the tree. So the coon has to climb up the tree. Because according to Missouri law, I just looked it up today and double check to make sure that I'm not incorrect here. But
you're exactly
the coon
right.
can go up the tree and then down into the bucket, but it has to be 6 feet off the ground. So you can realistically make a Michigan legal bucket set not have to have a lid on it whatsoever, because it doesn't there's no discrepancy on lid size or anything like that. You can take that Michigan legal bucket set, eliminate the lid, and you can go and ratchet strap that to the tree, in effect having the same thing. They just have to climb 6 feet up and then go down into the bucket.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I would be fucking running. Fuck them.
You can run small conibears above water, too. See, we can run kill sets below the water level. Or you can run small, I think it's like 5-inch conibears.
5 inch from the inside jaws, yes.
Right. And I've never really done any of that, but I'm assuming that's like
5 inch would be 5 inch would be about a third of my dick size, and or a 110 conibear. But no, I would venture to say that if you were to go, and remember, it's most states, and I think including yours, it's inside jaw width, which would be from this pivot to this pivot right there. This would be a 5.5 right there. That's a 110 conibear Duke.
What do you use a 110 for?
Muskrat. Muskrat and mink, and maybe you could hammer some weasel in here.
Not in Missouri.
Yeah, primarily muskrat though. But you know, if you got mink boxes, you could set them up in mink boxes. I'm sure you could use them on weasel boxes. They look like almost like a birdhouse where they have the hole cut in them.
Is that kind of like how they trap for?
But in the weasel boxes, typically you use regular rat traps in the weasel boxes. At least that's the way I've seen it done. But this 110 you use primarily on as a muskratter.
Yeah. You see, weasels in Missouri are one of those things that you have to call the DNR for.
They're protected?
Yeah, there's very few weasels you can catch, and if you do catch a weasel in Missouri, you better just mount it. Because if you catch one of the few species of weasels that we have that you can catch, you've pretty well done something around these parts.
No shit.
But we have a lot of critters you probably don't have. Like, we have a mountain of bobcats.
Now, we got bobcats up north.
I have a spot on my place I would like to show you.
If this is Michigan, I'm right here.
Yeah.
All right. Your bobcat are going to be from like here all into the upper peninsula.
Yeah. I have a spot on our place where we've got bobcats running through there. It's unreal the amount of sign. There was a mud puddle when I first started trapping it that was nothing but cat tracks. No dog tracks, no nothing else. The whole thing was full of cat tracks.
What's your coon count like this year, man? What'd you hammer on the coon? Do you have a number yet?
We only ran 25 days this year because it was our first year. And we ended up with 6 coons.
Okay.
I was happy with it. It was our first year. I didn't catch any coons until like the last 10 days once I went through a lot of really hard lessons.
Dude, a lot of people get down on coon trapping, man. You don't understand how many people are blasting on me for trapping coon, dude.
I love it. And we don't have anybody that coon hunts our property. And so I'm like you. I look at it from a conservationist standpoint that something has to knock those numbers down so everything else can work.
I mean, dude, I catch so much shit for it. I get long lining coyote guys out here that are like, yeah, if you're not knocking down 75 coyote a year, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Don't waste your time on trash pandas. Fuck off.
That's right. I guess that is one way of looking at it if you're in it for the money. I mean,
not really.
In my area this year. Go ahead.
You want to hear some shit? Here's some shit. They want to talk all the shit they can. You know what? Chances are I probably caught 3 or 4 coon to their 1 fucking coyote. Maybe on average. If they're trapping coyote in my area, the coyotes in my area are pulling 30 to 40 bucks at Napa, according to the sheet that I just looked at today. These coons are pulling right in the neighborhood of probably 8 to 11. Okay?
Right.
So at 8 to 11 bucks, when I trap 3 coon to their 1, that equals the playing field. When I trap that 4th coon, I just beat their 1. They can kiss my dick and spin on the motherfucker.
And that's how I feel about it. I'm not really worried about the numbers, but if you really want to put pen to paper, I think in Missouri, our fur auction, the average on coyotes went 25 bucks, and the average on coons was around $5. So I'm in the same boat as you. I can catch 5 times as many coons as what you can 1 coyote. Me, personally, I can catch coons way easier than what I can catch coyotes. And now, so if I'm looking at numbers, coons are smarter for me.
Don't underestimate the amount of work, though. I mean, we work our ass off to get this many fucking coons out.
Brother, I shed 50 pounds during my trapping season just walking up and down our hills and hollers.
I shed 50 pounds taking a shit.
Yeah, right.
I mean, hit me with a white cap, so I know you lose 65. Fuck.
Brian, I'm telling you, you got an open invitation, brother.
What's up?
Brian says turn him loose on those cat tracks. He'll have them stacked up. I say, you got an open invitation. I need somebody to teach me how to catch these cats. I'm learning. I'm a newbie.
Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck did I see earlier? A black top lot, the number 1 and number 2 top lot buyers on black mink came in at 1 black mink, the top number 1 top lot black mink male came in at $2,000. The black mink female number 1 top lot came in at $2,050 or some shit. $2,000 fucking dollars on a mink, dude.
Nuts. Where'd you see that at? Where was that from?
I got a mink mounted downstairs that I might just take a can of black fucking Dupli-Color to. If it's worth $2,000 fucking dollars, kiss my goddamn ass.
Hell, you just stay up late night and watch late night infomercials. You just see that Ronco guy. He can teach you how to color it black.
Yeah. Fucking no. If you go on NAFA, if you go on NAFA's website, and you click on auctions, and then you can click on 2018 auctions, the ones that happened already.
Yeah.
If you actually read the shit, not just the boxes that show what the averages are, but if you actually read the shit, you'll see where the number one highest dollar fur went. Dude, somebody paid $68 on the top lot, highest price fucking coon. What the fuck?
Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to know about what brings the best prices, what doesn't. I'm just starting to learn from watching you what furs are going to bring and what you do better to make them better. What I do know in Missouri that there's not a lot of species that you catch a lot of that are worth a high dollar. Our biggest dollar ones are otter and bobcats, probably.
The other one that went for big money was lynx. Dude, the top lot, number one lynx. I might be wrong, but I want to say that it was probably pushing $6 or $7 grand or something stupid.
That's nuts, Michael
Brian
Patterson.
Wall would be able to tell us.
Did you see that comment that Michael Patterson said? He saw a black panther today on the river, called the conservation, and they put a tag on it, collar on it. I don't think I'd want to fish that river much anymore, fellas.
But there's a lot of black beaver in fucking Detroit.
Come on. I used to drive a truck. I picked up car parts in Detroit and hauled them to Mexico, basically.
I wonder if there's a fur market on lot lizards.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I don't think they'd bring that. Except for kitties.
Hey, you know how the
Who
best
else is
place
doing it?
you can trap the biggest coons on the corner of 8 Mile and Woodward with a fucking bucket of KFC on the street corner and just shoot them from the rooftop.
Watermelon KFC and Four Locos.
Four Locos. No, it's like no, it ain't Four Locos. It's Colt 45.
Yeah, there it is, Colt 45.
Yeah. And Jungle Juice.
So, what's the best way for me to go about figuring out the dimensions for my board for my cat that I need to put it on? Because I'm not going to split. I'm just going to put it on
the F&T Fur Trading Post, or you go to Northern Trapper and buy yourself one fucking board and have it shipped. Then when you go buy one board and you have it shipped, then you have yourself a stencil that if you can do it cheaper, you can go and have somebody that has the woodworking tools, or if you do, you can use that one as a stencil, draw it out on a sheet of plywood, and then start cutting your own boards. I would buy,
Right on.
if you're a do-it-yourselfer, I would buy a board of every size, for all different species. I'd buy one of each of them. And then if you can get a connection on plywood, or if you do construction work or whatever, somebody does construction work, get all the fucking plywood you can and just fucking go to town on the fucking scrap plywood, anything that, is an adequate size.
Yeah. Well, my trapping must have gotten out to some of the locals. I work at a Conoco gas station, and I've had 2 old ladies hit me up yesterday that they need me to come out and catch some nuisance coons that they've got. And
do it soon. Do it soon while the weather's cold. Because I got the same deal. I got the same deal where, you know, word of mouth spreads and whatnot. And you got to check with your local game laws, as always. Because, you know, Brian Wall says, I think it was Brian Wall that said that, and, you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but I think he said that he can go and do nuisance animals in the outside of the trapping season, and he can get paid for doing so. He can have the landowner pay him. Now in Michigan, that's illegal, because if you go and you have a landowner pay you, then you are basically doing it as a job, in which you need to get a per harvest, a special out of season pest control license. But if you're doing it as a favor for somebody, and you know, the landowner or designee can legally trap out of season select certain nuisance animals. So, you know, that's one option, is you can go, hey, I want to do a favor for my neighbor that lives 5 miles away and take care of them. But you got to also know, you know, first off, you got to know what your state guidelines are of legalities. Can somebody designate you to do it, or does it have to be the landowner? Number two, can you get paid for doing it? Or if you're getting paid to do it, do you have to have a nuisance license? Number three, how far away are you able to trap from a livable dwelling? Here in Michigan, it's 150 feet. Number four, know your species. You got to know your species, because this guy has this private property that I just got access to this year, and he says, there's no question about it, he's got a muskrat problem that's unbelievable. But muskrat is not one of the ones considered a nuisance pest that you can get out of season in Michigan. And number five, what you really want to take into consideration is if you can go and convince the landowner to wait until trapping season, you're going to be much better off, because the furs that you catch in spring and summer in the warmer weather will not have that really long back hair, and you're going to not grade out and have as nice a dollar on those furs. Something is better than nothing. And if they say they can't wait, they're going to call a pest control guy otherwise. Then take what you can get, because you'll make $1 better than nothing, right? But if you can convince them to wait till the next trapping season and give you access to trap on their property during the trapping season, you're going to be better off. Those small animals are going to be bigger. The breeding season is going to be done, right? Because spring and summer, they're repopulating, rebreeding. The last thing you want to do is take your fur harvest for next year, cut it short because you're not letting them rebreed. So there's a lot of issues that come into play by trapping out of season. They have seasons for a reason. But if they are legit a nuisance pest, or, you know, if that guy has a raccoon up in his attic that he absolutely hates and wants to go throw a hand grenade up in his attic because the thing's bothering him at night, then yeah, go take it out. I do a lot of groundhog trapping. And I was disappointed this year to find out that NAFA is not accepting groundhog, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, I got 4 nice groundhog hides. What the fuck am I going to do with those now?
Well, in Missouri, you can't use a foot enclosure trap within 150 feet of a house, a dwelling, anything like that. But you can use a live trap wherever you please. Speaking of that, live trap, here's a discussion. Has anybody used live traps for bobcats? If so, has anybody used the style of live trap where you have a chicken coop in the back of the live trap? If you haven't seen this, look it up on YouTube, because it's kind of crazy concept. But these guys built this little trap, this little cage on the back side of their live trap where you can see through it, and they put like a couple little banty roosters in there and throw a little chicken feed to them every day when they check their line.
Here in Michigan, I can tell you that it's not legal. You cannot use live animals as bait in Michigan.
I I was just curious about it because I wondered if anybody's ever used them and if they really work the way that I would think it would work great because we can't keep animals away from our chickens. But
some backwoods hillbillies down south, from what I hear, they will go and coyote hunt by taking a rabbit, hanging it up from a tree, break its rear legs, and let it scream to shit. And then they'll mac the coyotes on the way into the rabbit. Inhumane as fuck. I don't go and condone that whatsoever, but that is a backwoods hush-hush practice that I hear goes on a regular. And definitely illegal in my state.
That's what I say about the summer coons. What they do is they go in the freezer because we like to eat them.
Getting staples out of a nicely shrank fucking fur is a motherfucker, I can tell you that.
Is there any other method other than using staples on them?
Yes, you can use thumbtacks on your wire stretchers. On your wire stretchers, you really don't use any. You use clothespins instead. On your wire stretchers, when you do it on your wires, you can run clothespins down the sides, so that when it stretches or when it dries, it wants to condense in. But when it condenses in, if you have the clothespins riding the side of your furs, they won't ride up the wire as they shrink. It'll hold them in place. And then on the bottom, obviously, you got your two swivels that you pull down on your hide. I personally don't like wire stretchers whatsoever, and staples are just easy. Chunk, 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 chunk. It's just the removal of the bitch. But yeah, you can use thumbtacks, push pins. I've seen people use nails. You know, they use like roofing nails or whatever, and they, run a couple of nails on there. You can do whatever you want, really. It's just so that you want to tack them out so that as it dries, it wants to shrink, and you don't want to allow it to shrink. You don't want it to lose any length. So that's the only reason you tack them out.
I got you. My bobcat turned out pretty good, other than I fucked up the eye on it.
Well, you shouldn't be fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
No,
well,
no skull fucking pussy. Damn it. Where's fucking Filthy Rucker? I can't even see the bubbles.
I don't see him.
I can't see any of the fucking bubbles on a side-by-side. I don't know why the hell.
Who is in here? We got 9 people. Let's hear a roll call.
What I really want to know is, Stephen Cooper in here. Stephen Cooper freaking whacked his goddamn wrist with a 220 Conibear the other day, being a friggin' moron.
How'd that do you?
Okay, there's Filthy Fucker Jimmy Rucker busting out the blue balls in your face.
You probably have to just restart. Steven, are you okay? All bullshit aside.
Yeah, no shit, it hurt.
I guess I'm not seeing comments.
Yeah, you said it hurt. It's written on there. How many times, Larry, you'll be able to answer this one. How many times do I check my Conibear traps when I pull them out of my bucket sets that I make the point, always use your trap setters as an additional safety on top of your J-hooks. And then you pull out your safety catch. You keep on you at all times, motherfucker. Always. You keep your... Right here in my pocket. I'm not bullshitting. Right here in my pocket. I keep spare 22 ammo. And along with my spare 22 ammo, I keep this right here. This right here goes over your Conibear like that and makes it so that even if it springs, it ain't going to spring more than 2 inches. This is $2.50. This right here will save an arm whacking and a hospital call and an ambulance call to say, cut this thing off me. And you never put your hands in the way of the square. You always use your setters and then you hold your setters in place. Or at least I do. I mean, there's some King Kong and motherfuckers that are just crazy, but I use my setters. I set my setters. I hold it in place. Then I take my safety setter and I latch it on the jaws. Then I go and I work my I go and work my J hooks on there. So I got, in effect, J hook, the setter tool, and this. In effect, I've got 4 things that will help prevent accidents. Is it the greatest thing in the world? Can you always prevent it? No, but you can be better by being smart about it. You ain't got to be a fucking King Kong and motherfucker. And let's face it, I'm being out in the woods from 10 o'clock at night till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'm beat. I'm tired. I'm running multiple buckets. This is how you get fucking hurt, you know? So I got to take every precaution. Call me a pussy. I don't give a fuck. You know what? I'm not willing to get whacked with a 220. Screw that shit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, screw that, man.
I got caught in a few of my traps this year. It wasn't fun.
I got hit with a Duke 3 right in the hand.
Me too.
Your dad's watching.
My dad's watching.
How did you get caught? I had that, you know, when you sifter box, right? You're sifter boxing over your top of your trap. And on top of that pan, on top of the trigger pan, it gets that little mound.
Right.
And I was just always watching the guys on YouTube and shit. They would do one of these numbers and they'd duff off the mound, off the top of the pan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right? So this one doesn't even have the trigger pan on it. It's one of my broken ones. But your pan right here, right? When you fold it open, I always watch them doing one of those numbers to level that mound off the pan so it's totally flat. Well, I was doing the duff like that, you know, to duff it off and level it off. And I hit that fucking night latched pan and boom! I got That's the last time I duff off a hair trigger fucking goddamn night latched freaking Duke 3. Not happening. Now I got told that the right way to do it is to use a stick or a branch and then use that to level it. Lesson learned.
Right. Or you can blow on it. Any way you want to do it, just to knock the lumps down. The way I got myself was in a reset. I was resetting, had my square jaw trap on my knee, was setting it open, was towards the end of the cable, and being new, I thought I had it set. Whenever I let go of it, trapped my finger, I jumped and pulled all at the same time and ripped a big gash in my finger with it. Was not a good day.
Now, when you set your traps, are you setting the dog over? Are you setting the dog over the fucking jaw? I mean, you're setting it over the first jaw, but are you working over the back jaw? Are you working above the 2 jaws?
I work below
you know what
it.
I'm saying?
Yes. I flipped the dog over and set it from the bottom.
For instance, if I can get this in video here, when you do them and you break it open, right? When you set your dog over the trap, right? You keep it flexed over your leg. You work from underneath.
Correct.
This trap's old as shit and my hands are greasy as fuck. I'll probably get whackered here.
I'm actually bringing the trap. I'll tell you what I do.
Then you work from underneath the jaws.
Correct.
When you set it, yeah. I can't do it right now because this is an old beat up trap. My hands are greasy from coon.
I had someone give me a whole bunch of muskrat traps the other day.
You did what?
I had someone gave me a bunch of those little muskrat traps the other day. This one right here.
What?
Check it out.
There you go. That's a number one. That's a number one. Number one long spring.
Okay. Trap's open, right? Flip it over and work it from the bottom. So that my hand's underneath the pan.
Yep. And if you still have enough room to go and file that fucking notch, if you have enough room to file that notch, you can go and night latch that fucker. And, you know, it won't sit like this. Your pan won't sit like that anymore. When you night latch it, your pan should sit nice and flat.
Right.
And then, you know, you always swing your, you always swing that long arm towards the dog. You know that too, right?
Right.
Because when you otherwise your back jaw or the jaw closest to you will be up. When you swing it, when you take that long spring and you swing it towards the dog, you'll see that back jaw drop out of the way.
Right.
Now, I see a lot of guys not do that. They want the cool looking thing they see on bumper stickers and T-shirts with the fucking, you know, long spring sticking straight out. And they don't do that. And when they don't go and flex it towards the dog, that back jaw sits up high, you know, and then it fucking, you can never bet it right. And when the coyote or whatever critter steps on it, it wants to rock and you'll get false sets.
And if you know anything about trapping, one thing I learned this year is that it's easier to bed this trap with that thing cocked off at an angle than what it is straight anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was going through the trash pile and found 5 of these little muskrat traps and gave them to me.
I don't like the old ones, though. I don't like the old ones where the pan has sideways shift like that.
Right.
That fucking drives me nuts.
It's very difficult to adjust it. Michael Austin, how's it going tonight, fellas?
Now, do you have a set of these? Do you have pan covers?
No. I used, what did I use this year? Wax paper this year. Did not like it.
I used wax paper too. I did that for quite some time. Yeah, you take the wax paper and then you kind of go under the jaws and over the fucking pan. It works.
Like this.
That's what I used to do. You want to get some of those pan covers though, dude. They're freaking awesome.
What I did is I flipped the jaw up, slid it under here, flipped the jaw down, and then sifted. I don't know if I did it right, but that's the way it looked to me.
I would say, you know, if I were doing it, you don't want the wax paper under the pan, okay? You don't want, if this is your pan, you don't want the wax paper underneath it, because that totally defeats the whole purpose. The purpose of that pan cover is to cover it to prevent dirt from getting underneath as you're sifter boxing, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. I go like this, over the pan, and then pull.
Yup. You're gonna go over the pan with it, and then fold that jaw down on top.
Yeah. That's the way I did it. I messed up a few times and did it,
But
and it
look
was
at how-
obvious to me.
Look at how your fucking pan is sitting all cockeyed and shit. You see how your pan's all off like that?
These have got to be adjusted badly.
Yeah, you got to adjust them and then night latch them. Night latch it first and then adjust it. You know, by you got where your dog comes out, right? You got that like pivot point where the dog comes out. You got to take that and bend that, and that will go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Austin, that's the way I understand it. It really doesn't matter what you use. There's like I always tell everybody, there's different strokes for different folks, and some people like to use wire screens, some people like to use wax paper, some people use cardboard, some people use insulation. I've heard, but it's all in what you prefer.
Okay, so you got your pan, right? And then you got your rear right here. I'm sure there's a technical term for that. I just don't know it. You got the dog, you got the pan, you got whatever this rear is right here. You can adjust your angle of your pan by bending this in or out.
Right.
You know, bending it out will allow that pan to raise up. Bending it in will allow it to go down. Now, if you night latch it, and you can see on Coon Creek has a really good video on night latching traps. And he goes over the exact size of files per size of trap and shit. Coon Creek Outdoors on YouTube has a really good night latching video. But when it comes to night latching, you want to night latch it first. Then you adjust your rear, bend it either way you need to, so your pan sits completely flat.
Right.
All right, let me try this. Let me try this here.
The paper Brian Wall.
I'm gonna beam you out, and then let me try
Okay.
Brian Wall again.
You're good.
All right.
I gotta dip out anyways.
Nope, Brian Wall, you're still fucked, brother. I just fucking farted and it smells like a goddamn gut pile. What the fuck? All right, Brian, try to send me another. I just cleared it out, so. All right, Brian, go ahead and try to send me again. I'll try to beam you again. So I just cleared it out. Let's see if that works. Michael Patterson, if you want, click the beam in and beam in, brother. Come on. I don't see you available as a beam in. So if you want to beam in, hit it up. I got to get these fucking furs hung up, guys. Okay, unless somebody else wants to beam in, Well, let's try. Nope. Brian Wall, no. It will not let me beam you in, brother. So, Larry Compton, I'll catch you later, bud. Hey, thanks for beaming in, man. It's been a pleasure on my side, man. See ya. I'm gonna get these furs boarded on. I'm gonna get the furs hung up on the hangers, guys. Why are some of the furs gray on the skin side and tan on the other side? I don't know. That's a good question for Brian Wall. Why are some of the furs like gray and why are some of the furs like a yellowish tan color on the skin side, on the actual hide side of the fur? That's a question I've always had an answer for, but I don't have it. I've always wanted to ask that question. Nope, no answer from Video Live Guest from Brian Wall. But yeah, Brian, if you could answer that question, I'm curious about that too. Now that's a pretty nice rack. That's a pretty nice rack, right? I got two of those racks. Wow. A question that Brian doesn't know. What the hell? that's not even close to half of what I still have to do. I still got so much work to do, guys. It's stupid, man. I'm starting to get nervous that I'm not going to make everything off the freaking market, and I shouldn't be that nervous yet with 20 days left to go. More than 20 days left to go. Freed up some boards, though. That's my goal. I'm going to get all the rest of all this row. I want to not screw around tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday night. I'm not going to screw around tomorrow. And I want to go and get all of these extra furs right here. I'm going to get those and those. I'm going to get all those off of boards and onto hangers tomorrow night. I need to free up all my boards. So when I get back in town on the 2nd, I'm going out for Easter break, Easter weekend. So Easter weekend, I'm going to be out. So I need to get all these ones off boards. And I wish I could refill the boards for the weekend that I'm gone, but I just don't see myself having the time to do that. That would be a fucking awesome thing. But Thursday night, I'm leaving. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be gone, coming back on Monday. So on Monday, it's the 2nd. Monday night, I need to go and flash down as many freaking coons as I can to get them on boards. It is hustle go time, because at that point, I'm going to be sitting at 18 days to get as much done as I can and off the fucking market. It is going to be hell, boys. My mic is not covered. I'm going to jump out and jump back in. I don't know. When I went from the music and beamed in, everything went to shit. I'm going to jump right back in. Check my new live stream.